What's up, everyone? Episode 3 of the TSV Sports Show coming at you right now. My name is Darren Archuleta. I got my sports writers with me from the Skyline View, Marco Milani, Alvin Chang, and Jasper Lindsay. Let's get right to it, starting with possibly the game of the week of week 4 it is right now in the NFL. Browns and Cowboys, Cleveland winning just a wild shootout, 49-38 inside Jerry's world. And I'll turn it to you, Jasper. What did you take away from this game? Was it more Cleveland or was it more Cowboys?
Well, first off, I just want to give props to Kevin Stefanski's offense. I think he's starting to really figure it out with the run combination and the play action. When Baker runs play action and he's able to get out of the pocket, he looks really good. And you saw Odell finally getting some touches. That Jarvis Landry pass was awesome. But with the Cowboys, Dak's really putting this team on his back right now. Their defense is so bad. And that's forcing Dak to have to put up crazy stats like 400 to 500 yards per game. I mean, if anything, this just proves that Jerry needs to pay Dak. Other than that, I liked what I saw of the Browns. I think they can definitely still improve defensively, especially heading into – I forget who they're playing this weekend, but I think it's a tougher matchup. But, yeah, I mean, Baker looks good when he can get out of the pocket. And, I mean, as long as they run an offense similar to what he did at Oklahoma, I think he should be good and that team should win some more ball games.
Yeah, Cleveland, they come home and play the Colts. Another interesting game. Both teams are 3-1. Let's shift over now to last night's game on Monday night, the traditional Monday night game, Falcons and the Packers. The Packers winning that game quite handily, despite only winning by 14 points, 30-16. The Packers are 4-0 right now. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns on the night, going for 327 yards as well. Turn it over to Marco. What are your takeaways from that game, and how are you liking the Packers so far?
Robert Tonyan is a stud. That is all. Everybody was firing on all cylinders last night. Zadarius Smith, 3 sacks, 1 touchdown to Aaron Jones. But what I was really watching is Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon both getting some time on the field. And it makes me think, and this has been a talking point since the beginning of the season, like if Aaron Jones leaves, who's going to step in? Is it going to be Jamal Williams, or is it going to be the newly drafted A.J. Dillon, who's obviously was trending for his quads in training camp? But so it's going to be an exciting battle. I think Jamal has the upper hand right now. Obviously, he got some passes. He got some passes and he got some good runs. But yeah, firing on all cylinders, 4-0, carrying the G pretty well, I must say.
Yeah, it was another good game. I mean, from Aaron Rodgers, and I mean, he's probably the only player right now that's giving Russell Wilson a run for his money for MVP. We'll see how that goes. Finally, we will go now to the 49ers losing 25-20 to the Eagles on Sunday night. I'll take this one. I wasn't really surprised with this performance. I mean, you look at Mullins' stat line, only throwing 200 yards, 2 interceptions, but I mean, the one that he had, the pick 6, was just very brutal. The sky cam replay doesn't give him a lot of justice for it, but maybe he didn't see the linebacker in his position. But either way, just giving that look, Jasper, it's very it's ugly to watch. But either way, I liked what I saw from Brandon Ayuk. How can you not, with that hurdle he had for the touchdown? And then even Kittle coming back and putting up 183 yards on 15 catches along with the touchdown. A lot of improvements, but I mean, it really does start with the quarterback, especially now.
If I could chime in here real quick, Daniel. What do you think about the defense? Do you think they can hold up enough to let the offense score 14 a game, maybe? At least until Jimmy G comes back.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to win those type of games if we're only scoring 14 points, especially now with Ziggy Ansah out for the rest of the year. Another loss, and then now with K'Wan Williams going on short-term IR, it doesn't get easier. What else more can be said, though? Someone has to step up, and whether that's the pass rusher, whether that's the secondary holding in, what I think will lead them through this is the linebackers. And as long as they hold up, if you have Fred Warner calling the shots along with Quan Alexander, they should relatively stay in a good spot. But right now, with the line, how it's just so depleted, Armstead, you got that contract over the offseason. He really has to step up now.
If I can ask a question here, actually kind of two. It's both related to the defense. What are your impressions on Javon Kinlaw so far? And what did you see did you see anything you liked out of Jason Verrett?
I'll start with Kinlaw. He's holding his own now. He really is. If you take a look at, some of the Baldy breakdowns on Twitter, he loves talking about him a lot. And like some of his rip throughs he's getting through some of these offensive linemen, it's showing a lot of signs of improvement as well as just his overall capabilities. And then with Verrett, he's doing very good for filling in. And with no Emmanuel Mosley because of a concussion, you're just gonna have a whole bunch of quarterbacks targeting Akella Witherspoon, and I just roll my eyes at that because Witherspoon loves giving up big plays after big plays every week. So at least you have one side of the ball, or at least one side of the field covered up. The secondary should be fine, but everyone just has to stay healthy. Let's shift over now to college football. And I turn over to Jasper. What did you see this week from week 5 of the college football season?
The Boomer Sooners are done. I think Lincoln Riley's heading to the NFL after this year. He may stay to let his little experiment Spencer Rattler pan out, but I really don't know what to make of this team. They came in high hopes. I thought they were going to be the Big 12's playoff representative for the 3rd consecutive year. But, I mean, it looks like their string of luck with quarterbacks has finally hit a wall as they were downed by Iowa State 37-30. Another huge upset in the league that puts the Big 12 in even more trouble for a playoff spot. TCU upsetting number 9 Texas. For as good as Sam Ehlinger is, this team they look surprising and they look electric at sometimes, and then other times they just look flat and they just can't move the ball at all. I got to hand it to TCU, though. They looked really good. Their quarterback and running game, I mean, they didn't even have a good game. Duggan put up 231 yards. And, I mean, he rushed for a couple touchdowns, but nothing through the air. I mean, the Big 12 is a mess right now, and it's finally catching up to them.
Yeah, I was watching that game. There really wasn't nothing special about it. Just, typical Big 12 defenses not being able to stop anyone.
Yeah.
You talked Oklahoma, you talked Texas. They actually play this weekend in the Red River Showdown. Who do you actually like in that game?
I'd expect Texas to bounce back. I think they're better than they showed against TCU. I mean, if they can make TCU their only loss of the year, I think they should be maybe looking good enough to win the conference championship. I still don't think that's enough to make the playoffs. But yeah, I feel even worse for Texas because they had all the Matthew McConaughey cutouts in the stands on Saturday. And I mean, when you're embarrassing yourself like that in front of McConaughey, things just aren't looking good. But even the week prior, I mean, they looked flat against Texas Tech. So I think they're done. KJ Costello finally came back to earth in the SEC, and you're going to see that out of the air raid. One week it's going to blow up, and you're going to have 600-plus yards and 5 touchdowns, and other weeks you're going to have 300 yards still, which is impressive, but you're going to have 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and your team's going to lose 14-21.
Yeah, he's still learning. Hopefully, though, they do play Kentucky this week. I'll actually be in Vegas. I do see Mississippi State Yeah, everyone pray for me. But yeah, hopefully I do see them, going. I think they're at Kentucky. I'm not sure. I need to look at that again, but they are playing Kentucky. I know they are underdogs, and I'm right. Where's my? I need to find my cowbell, but we're gonna be bringing that all weekend.
Oh yeah, more cowbell.
Yeah, more cowbell always. Let's turn it over now to the MLB postseason. We finally reached the divisional series. All the remaining 8 teams are in their respective bubbles. Turn it now to all three of you guys. What is one series out of the 4 that you guys are looking for? Turn it over to Alvin.
Well, I'm looking for the Yankees, and then I'm looking for the Yankees, and then I'm really surprised yesterday. The Giancarlo Stanton hit a grand slam in the top of the 9, because I was thinking that the Yankees will lose the game 1, but I was really surprised that the Stanton hit the grand slam, helped the Yankees to win the game 1.
How about you, Marco?
I like the Astros and the A's series. Obviously, the first game didn't turn out as expected. 10-5 win. What was it? I think it was last night. But I think the A's can pull back. I think they're playing with a vengeance. Obviously, I still think 2006. After that, in the Tigers ALCS series, still lives in their minds, and I think they're still trying to come back from that. 14 years later? So I think it's going to be a good series, and I hope to see some good baseball out of the Oakland team.
Yeah. How about you, Jasper?
Yeah, I mean, I want the A's to win. I love the A's. I grew up watching their postseason runs in 2011 with Josh Reddick and Yoenis Cespedes, but I just want them to shut up the Astros. I am so tired of these guys. The MLB gave them such a weak punishment, and it's sad to see. I mean, it's sad to see teams get away with cheating. Now that Trevor Bauer's out of the playoffs, I mean, the A's are the only team that really, but we could have a Yankees-Astros ALCS, which is kind of exciting for me. I mean, I'd love to see the Yankees-Astros because I think there's going to be a lot of bad blood in that series. I'd love to see Aroldis Chapman just hurl 100-mile-per-hour right past Altuve's head. And I think but another series we haven't talked about yet, though, is the Padres-Dodgers series. The Padres just got Clevenger back. So, I mean, that series looks to be really good, especially with just how much pop in that lineup both teams have. I mean, you got Tatis versus Mookie Betts, and that's what people want to see. I mean, the MLB, I like the playoff schedule, but, I mean, it feels like something's still missing. Like the MLB, they like to plug the holes they have in their league with really minimal things. Like they introduced base camera, like trying to be like pylon cam, and it's just stop introducing things no one cares about and let's get to some baseball.
Yeah, that small things like that, that makes such a very little like wow, like, oh, you put a camera there, like that
Props to you, Rob Manfred.
that does nothing to the broadcast. That does nothing to the broadcast at all. One last question, then we'll shift over to basketball. Do you think any of these games being played at neutral venues have any impact to these series?
Absolutely. I think you saw it with the A's. I mean, they're the home team. They'd rather play at their home field against the Astros than on Dodger Stadium.
That's true, yeah, especially now with no, acres of foul territory now.
I mean, it's definitely a cool idea, but you also have the Dodgers and Padres playing, so one team's not going to be at a neutral site.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was my biggest problem with the neutral site thing is I think the Dodgers and Padres are still going to have home field advantage.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's end it now with the NBA. The Game 4 is actually tonight, Tuesday at the time of this recording. Turning out over to Alvin. Even though Miami is down 2-1 right now, and they still are a little bit depleted, missing Dragic and Bam Adebayo, any chance that they can get back into the series?
Well, I think yes, because first of all, let's look at the Miami Heat at Game 3. I want to talk about Kelly Olynyk. So in a game 2 and game 3, Kelly Olynyk performed 6 of 12 from 3 points line, and especially in game 3, Olynyk has 60% from 3-point line. Although Ben Adebayo played well inside the paint, he can shoot three, and then so we saw the Miami Heat play a lot of pick and pop and let Olynyk shoot from top of the circle. On game 2 and game 3, Olynyk played 70 points and 24 points. I think this definitely gave the Heat more space on offensively, and I believe this is totally not in the game plan from the Lakers head coach Frank Vogel. But well, what's the problem from the Lakers in game three? I think Danny Green, like he missed a lot of 3-pointer. That's very clutch for the Lakers on offensively. Danny Green in this year playoff, he had 36% on 3 points percentage, but turn to the finals, Green has only 20% on 3 points line. So I think this is the weight difference from Danny Green. Well, but LeBron did what he's supposed to do, and also in Game 3, I think Anthony Davis made a foul trouble earlier in the first half, and also when Dwight Howard came in, like he didn't cover Davis' work, so he only gives like 4 points and 3 rebounds. So I think that's a reason why the Lakers lost in Game 3.
Yeah, I want to make a quick edit on mine. Game 4 actually tomorrow, Wednesday. So that's on me. Any predictions for that game? Marco or Jasper? Who wins Game 4?
All you, Marco.
It's going to be tough. But obviously, both teams are really good. But I still like the Heat for Game 4. I mean, I don't think Jimmy Butler is gonna have as good a game as he had with the shoot triple double. Come on. But yeah, I think I'll take the Heat on that one.
What about you, Jasper?
I like the Heat, but I think the Lakers just have those guys who just get it done. Like you have KCP, Danny Green. If one of them get hot, and then you have Anthony Davis and LeBron both putting forth a good effort, I think you see. I think the Lakers just run away with it. But I'll tell you who is rooting for a long series is LeBron James' son.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Alvin. We saw your hand.
By the way, the Game 4 is today. So in my opinion, I think I'll go for the Lakers because, well, you can see in the Game 1 and Game 2, the Lakers give a lot of possession on LeBron and Davis, especially in Game 2. So LeBron and Davis both can score over 25 points, especially in Game 2. They both had 30 points and 32. So, but in Game 3, when Davis made a foul trouble, he only scored 14 in Game 3. So I think if Davis and LeBron still play well, personally, I think the Heat has no opportunity in this series.
Yeah. Oh, if they're able to get Adebayo back, that'll just help a lot. But then, what percentage is he even at? Is he able to play in spouts, or is he able to, play at least 35 minutes, which might be a lot to ask for him?
Well, I think for Ben Adebayo, because right now, if he can play Game 4, it's questionable. But if he can come back today, he definitely can help the Heat inside the paint. But I think like Frank Vogel will put Howard and Davis both on the court at the same time to double team Ben Adebayo. So like definitely Adebayo cannot destroy it in the paint and cannot get more rebound. So, well, we will see if Adebayo can come back today. If not, then I think this series is over.
Do you have something to add, Marco?
Yeah, I actually have a question for Alvin. So throughout this series, I just got to ask because I'm just out of pure curiosity. Is Dwight Howard showing signs of age during this final? Because he's what, like what is he, almost 40 years old or something like that?
I think when Frank Vogel put Dwight Howard on the court, not only grab the rebounds or put the ball back to the rim, and also, as a veteran, Dwight Howard has been playing in the league for like 16 years. So I think he can, like, he know what happened at any situation, especially in the finals. Kyle Kuzma and KCP and also the young guys, they didn't have final experience. So I think when Dwight Howard on the court, definitely he can, like, tell his teammate what's going on right now and what you're supposed to do. I think that's the biggest reason why Dwight Howard is played in the finals.
Yeah, you can never have too much depth, especially in the front court, especially in the finals. We saw that last year with the Warriors and the Raptors. We'll leave it at that, though. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week for another episode of the TSV Sports Show. Make sure to follow the Skyline View on Twitter and Instagram. And thank you for watching.